Well, Hosea is another important study for us as we think about the Old Testament because he's at a crisis point in Hebrew history. We have divided kingship, divided monarchy. We have Israel in the north, Judah in the south. And Israel is threatened by Assyria, this northern kingdom. And Hosea is preaching and teaching about a generation before the Assyrians will come and invade Israel and destroy Samaria and take Hebrew people captive into the Assyrian Empire. And so Hosea has a very, very crucial ministry to the people of God. And again, God at these crisis hours tends to do unusual things. Not only does Hosea have a message for his people, a message of repentance, turn from the idols, return to me, serve me in covenant relationship. Maybe we can avert this threat of judgment and punishment with exile if you can renew covenant with me. And so to somehow dramatize that, and this is one of the ways God often works with his prophets and those other prophetic voices, they will bring symbolic action or even living parable, dramatic action to support their story, to support their message, to somehow, in a sense, reinforce or even emphasize what they're saying to the people of God. In Hosea's case, it's a marriage, his living parable of a marriage to a woman named Gomer, who either was or becomes a prostitute. There's some question there about her status when he enters the marriage. But the point is, she's unfaithful to him as a wife, even as Israel has been unfaithful to God in their covenant relationship. And so Hosea's relationship to his faithless wife is going to mirror the relationship that Israel's had with her God. And Hosea is going to dramatize that for his people, even to the point where he will buy that wife back out of servitude and restore her to a place of relationship with himself. And so sometimes God is going to use even that symbolic action or that living parable to dramatize his message, and at a crisis moment use that as a wake-up call, as a way to somehow sound the alarm that this is a desperate hour and we need to respond and return to God. And Hosea is that example with his marriage and his living parable. It's also important, I think, for God's servants to live their message. That's hard. Hosea has to play the fool for God in a way here. That's difficult. But I think for him to preach repentance meaningfully, he has to experience it. And he walks through that with his faithless wife. And he learns something about repentance and about restoration. And I think he can preach that in a much deeper way because of what God allowed him to experience in that relationship to his wife Gomer and what happened in their marriage and in the restoration of that marriage by Hosea as he bought back that faithless wife and restored her to that right place in relationship with him in terms of covenant of marriage.